It's kind of like, having a cheat code, right? When you were a kid and you play computer games and someone said, oh, if you just tap the keys in this particular direction, you'll unlock this superpower. Then all of a sudden, you do this super badass move on your friend and it just totally ends him. It's kind of like that, right? You're able to unlock something within you that's always been there. You've just not known how to access it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Powerful Man Show. I am your host, Doug Holt, with my co-host, Tim, the Powerful Man Matthews. Dan, what's going on, brother? Can't help but laugh when I do that.
I love it. Yeah,
I know you do. That's why it's funny to me.
I love it. Yeah, it's great. I'm doing awesome. I'm doing really well.
Well, Tim, for today, this is kind of a follow-up to one of our other podcasts we did. But I was thinking about it, and as we talk about, there's a couple things we talk about within the movement. One is the shadow stick man. The other one is what is the powerful man, right? Or your powerful man, so to speak. And the way that I approach this for myself, and I want to hear from you, is the idea of who do I get to become, right? And so as we reflect on our lives and me being a father, right? So I have a son who's about almost 2.5, and I have a daughter on the way. So one question I might ask myself is, who do I get to become to be, just an awesome father to these beautiful children? Who do I get to become to be the husband my wife agreed to marry 6 years ago? Right? Things like that. Who do I get to become to be the powerful man? My definition of what a powerful man is. And I use that question, Tim, and I use it in a unique way with, we have something that we teach the men called the COIL, which is a weekly review, very systematic, extremely well thought out in the sense that it keeps all the guys accountable and on track for a balanced life in the way that they define it. But what I'll use this for is, who do I get to become to be this not idealized version of myself, but pretty close without putting too many constraints on me. And then I break that down to what does that look like? What does that guy do? So, Tim, do you do anything like this?
I do, yeah, I do. I view it a little bit differently in the sense that instead of it being something outside of me and something in the future, who do I get to become? It's almost as though I am stepping into it, right? The way that I like to think about this is, who am I? Because for me, I believe that, we're all powerful men. Even the people out there who are using that power in dysfunctional ways to cause harm to other people. Often they have tapped into the same power that you and I have tapped into, and many of the men we work with have. However, they are using it for different means. We believe that there's an infinite pool of power that is just waiting to be activated. You've just got to know how to activate it. It's kind of like, having a cheat code, right? When you were a kid and you play computer games and someone said, oh, if you just tap the keys in this particular direction, you'll unlock this superpower. Then all of a sudden, you do this super badass move on your friend and it just totally ends him. It's like, hey, what are you doing? It's kind of like that, right? You're able to unlock something within you that's always been there. You've just not known how to access it. So, in terms of who do I get to become, and considering that, you've already got this infinite pool of power inside of you waiting to be activated, is very much like Michelangelo when he was carving the statue of David, chipping away at it. David was already there. Michelangelo's famous for that quote, isn't he? David was already there. I just had to chip away at everything that wasn't him. So I take that approach. If I believe that I am a powerful man, then it's simply a case of, okay, what's next? What's the next step here? And once I've identified what that's going to be, let's say it's, there's a project in the Powerful Man, or, well, let's use that. There's a project in the Powerful Man business. and we're going to grow the business. And let's say, year on year, we've been trebling the business, haven't we? So let's say that, we're going to map out next year, because we are approaching the next year in our company. And we map out those projections. As you know, Doug, you and I will then consider, okay, in order to achieve that, who are we? Either who do we get to become? It's kind of like this similar thing. Who do we get to become? Or who am I? Who am I as the guy living that? And then it's a case of really diving into that and being with that process. Okay, well, do my actions and habits today fit me, fit that version of me? Yes or no? What are the habits that I would have living that lifestyle, leading that movement, managing those kind of revenues? Okay. What are the relationships I might have? Do my current relationships align to that? Are there any relationships or habits that I may want to let go of? And that's really as far as the gap goes for me. Because once I've identified what those habits are and what my current behaviors are based on the coil and my Google Calendar, and it's simply a case of aligning them and then choosing to be that guy, remembering that I'm already that guy. I personally do not believe that when we grow, we take a step forwards. I don't believe that. I believe that with every bit of growth and expansion that we experience, it's a step backwards. It's a step closer to home. Because if you think of us as human beings, we are infinitely powerful. You've heard stories of people healing themselves from all kinds of diseases. If you researched like the original Tesla, the stuff that he created, the geniuses that have walked the planet, when you actually strip away from humans the conditioning of society, of parents, of the media, all the fear that's imposed, all the different things that we taught and told in schools as kids, when you strip all that away, what's left is this magnificent, unlimited being that is capable of things far beyond the mind can ever comprehend. And it's only when you actually, it's almost the way I imagine it, it's like, those machines at amusement parks where you put your coin in. It's a glass cage, it's full of teddies. You put the coin in, you get the arm, you try and direct it to a teddy, you put it down and hopefully it'll pick a teddy up and you win one. It's kind of like doing that with your mind. And just picking your mind up and getting it out of the way so that you're able to actually become a conduit for something much bigger than you and let life totally flow through you. And this is when at the Alpha Resets, the men experience these phenomenal shifts because it's so experiential. It gets them completely out of their mind of the stories and the fear and the procrastination, all those things that they've been holding them back, and gets them completely present in their body and in their power, and they physically feel something that is unlimited. And it blows them away. And that's what they carry with them afterwards. That's hence the big shifts and the big results that then come from that. So, yeah, it's much more for me realizing that we are already it. We are. It's just remembering that.
Hey, sorry to interrupt the show, but I wanted to ask you a question. Do you ever feel like something's just missing? Like there's something more out there and you just can't put your finger on it? I totally get it. Go over right now to thepowerfulman.com/freedom to discover the system that other businessmen just like you are using. We've included 10 case studies, 10 men just like you who have found the solution and have found their way on their path. And we want to share that with you. Go over to thepowerfulman.com/freedom right away. Now let's get back to the show.
Oh, I agree so much. And yeah, it's absolutely true. It's really peeling back the layers, right? and getting to your essence of who you are. I mean that when I say that, for the fathers out there, that's really the loving, present man. That's what a great father is, right? Someone with compassion, wisdom, but also who's going to be there for their kids, excuse me. And all these ideas. I mean, you are already this powerful man, as Tim described, is, the layers have been put upon you, and how do you strip those away? So Tim, what are some practical actions the guys could do, right now? Right now, they know they're not in a place where they're their ideal self right now. What are a few things they could do on that quest?
What are a few things they can do? I'm doing my best to think of things that are not experiential and don't involve another person, because obviously we see the biggest shifts with the men when we're actually there with them, able to coach them and, guide them to things. Okay. I'd say the first thing you could do is to come clean. Often lifts a lot of guilt and shame within myself and, the men we work with, is them just coming clean with their loved ones around any shortcomings. I'll use myself as an example. So the first time I came clean was so interestingly received. Are you in a cult? Are you going mental? Like literally, my friends thought I was going insane, all because I was being honest. Crazy how society is, right? But yeah, I just came clean about how I felt. I felt insecure. I didn't feel good enough. I'd used business to mask it. I had a real confident exterior, but underneath it, there was a lot of second guessing. I didn't trust myself. I didn't listen to myself, and it was a total mask. And I decided one day, after a series of events, if you know my story, then you'll know what they are, to come clean about this. And I just shared it all through social media. I never used to post a great deal, and that's kind of an extreme to go to. But as well as speaking to my parents and the people in my life, I just decided to share it all completely on social media. Kind of going from 0 to 100 within a very short time span. But it was very freeing. It was like throwing all the skeletons out of the closet. I even went as far as taking pictures of myself in my boxer shorts, just saying, "Hey, this is me." Because by that point, I just didn't want anyone in my life that didn't know who I truly was and didn't support who I truly was. So the easiest thing for me was to identify who those people were and get those skeletons out of the closet. And in doing so, it gave me a real deep sense of empowerment because I was living in alignment with who I truly knew I was capable of being, away from all the lies and the masks and so on. So come clean, whether it's like that or having a conversation with somebody you love, asking your father, let's say, if he's proud of you. That was, again, one of my biggest moments, having a conversation with him and sharing with him how I felt most of my life growing up, that I didn't feel good enough, I didn't feel loved. That was a very freeing conversation. And you can continue to go, asking your wife, what is it like to be in a relationship with me? Asking your kids, how can I be a better father? Getting feedback rather than ignoring how your actions are affecting other people. Get data, get optics. Just like anything in business, if you go to make a business move, you want to know what the optics are saying. Get feedback, get optics, and come clean. There's other things we could mention here, but they're a lot more experiential, and I don't really want to be giving recommendations on how to go about those exercises without actually having somebody, a professional, there to be able to guide you through them. But there's some quick things you can do.
Oh, absolutely perfect. And I agree with you. The experiential, methodology is always the best way to go. But the important thing, right, Tim, is actually to do it, to take action and do the work and make sure that you get that clarity. And so often that, it's always said, I can't remember who said it, but, we don't lie to anybody as much as we lie to ourselves, right? We lie to ourselves to justify what we're doing, our failures, our weaknesses, and our strengths, to make us look better and feel better about ourselves. It's the ego playing a trick and allowing us, the ability to make an excuse. We often talk about the whole illusion of someday, right? Someday I'll get a chance to do this. Someday I'll be the man I know I am. Someday I'll get help. And yet someday never comes. Like point out, go to your calendar right now and point to someday. Not Monday, not Tuesday, not November, 17th.
Not Sunday.
Yeah, where is someday on the calendar? Yeah, not Sunday. You just can't see it, right? I'm looking at my calendar right now, and I'll be in the UK on the 17th of November for our Alpha Reset. So it's not someday. I'll be there on this day, supporting the men that'll be there, right? I'll be coaching and co-coaching with the other coaches, the men that'll be going through the Alpha Reset. So guys, get rid of someday. Just take it out of your vocabulary. If you're thinking about it like, wow, someday I wish I could. No, pick a date, make it happen. This is your life. This is your time. We talk about who do I get to become? Well, you get to become the man who leads your life, right? The man that is already there, as Tim so eloquently said. You get to become the powerful version of yourself. You get to go back to that man.
On day 2 of the Alpha Reset, when we lead the guys through that particular exercise, Doug.
Yep.
It's fascinating because at that point they really see themselves. They really see themselves for the man that they are. Devoid of titles or material possessions or labels, whatever it is. They actually get to meet themselves, really truly see the man that they are and the man that everybody else sees as well. They actually see it. And not only that, feel it.
Yes.
And, words don't even come close to describing this experience. If you've seen any of the case studies on thepowerfulman.com/freedom, you can see the results there that, the guys talk about these huge transformations they have. And I know it might sound a little bit unbelievable or, maybe you've heard it all before, whatever. And my advice would be to go over there and look and make your own mind up. You can even reach out to these guys in the Facebook community should you desire to do so. But the point being here is these guys on day 2, they don't go and double or treble or quadruple their business. They don't, buy a certain car, or they don't grow an extra arm. They don't suddenly become this ripped Spartan. They don't do any of these things to really realize the power that's inside of them, the powerful man that they are. It's like, the wing mirrors. Whenever I come to the US and I hire a hire car, I always see a little sticker on the wing mirror saying objects in the mirror may appear closer than they actually are. But the reality with this is the object in the mirror is a lot closer than you actually think it is. It really is. It's right there just beneath the surface. If you just wipe off that fog off the mirror when you come out of the shower, that steam that gets on the mirror, and then you see yourself, it's like, oh, it's the same thing. Just wiping away all those stories and lies and, the bravado that we so easily frequently hide behind. I'm super guilty of that. Well, I was super guilty of doing that. I was a pro at that. I've heard some of your stories as well, Doug, so I know you were good at it too. But it's right there. It's right in front of you.
Absolutely. So as we said, guys, today is the day. This moment is the moment. Never leave the sight of an important insight without taking massive action. With that said, gentlemen, go over to thepowerfulman.com/freedom. That page is changing a lot. So we're constantly changing it to give you guys new case studies, also new tips and tricks that you can look at to help you get a shining light, to let you know that you're not alone out there. There are other men just like you who have made it to the other side and saw themselves for the first time, the real powerful versions of themselves. That's it for us today. We'll see you next time on The Powerful Man Show.